Kurt Cobain's Smells Like Teen Spirit guitar sells for $4.5 million at auction. One of Kurt Cobain's most beloved guitars, seen in Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit video, sold for a whopping $4.5 million at auction Sunday in New York, Julien's Auctions announced. But before we dive into the main topic, please like this video and also subscribe to Idea Haven YouTube channel. I will be very happy if you do so, and this will help us add more content like this. So, without further ado, let's get back to the topic. The guitar, a 1969 Fender Competition Mustang in a color known as Lake Placid Blue that was owned by the Cobain family, was previously displayed as part of Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay's extensive collection of rock memorabilia prior to this auction, the Associated Press previously reported. On Sunday, it was the Jim Irsay collection that ultimately made the winning bid at the auction to officially take ownership of the guitar, with the Cobain family donating a portion of the sale to the NFL teams kicking the Stigma Mental Health Awareness campaign. I am thrilled to preserve and protect another piece of American culture that changed the way we look at the world, Irsay said in a statement. The fact that a portion of the proceeds will go towards our efforts to kick the stigma surrounding mental health makes this acquisition even more special to me. Cobain famously used the guitar in the video for the band's breakthrough single Smells Like Teen Spirit. The guitar is said to be among the musician's favorite in his expansive collection, so much so that Cobain rarely used the guitar outside of a studio setting. The so-called competition stripe variants, which were available for both Mustang guitars and basses, are a much-coveted instrument among short-scale enthusiasts. Original 1960s and 1970s models regularly sell for thousands of dollars. Cobain was well known for his devotion to Fender's line of offset guitars, most notably the brand's Mustang models, which the Come As You Are singer used regularly throughout Nirvana's run. In the year leading up to the release of Nevermind, Cobain destroyed several Mustangs, which the band had pieced together and assembled on the cheap, on stage during several live shows. We bought some necks and took pieces of wood and cut out the bodies and put necks on, and they were completely out of tune. But we did a pretty good job, Cobain recalled in a 1993 interview. Those were all destroyed in one tour. He also exclusively played a series of 4 Fender Mustangs during the band's In Utero tour. Out of all the guitars in the whole world, the Fender Mustang is my favorite, Cobain said in a 1991 interview with Guitar World. They're cheap and totally inefficient, and they sound like crap, and are very small.
Another question to Kurt again. Are you left-handed? Do you find it hard to get the right guitar for you?
Usually, yeah. It's a bit easier now because I have an endorsement with Fender Guitars now, so they're making me left-handed Mustangs, and so it's a lot easier. It used to be a total pain in the ass. I mean, when we were on our first couple of tours, you know, I'd only have one guitar, and it would have to be cheap, you know, a $30 guitar from a pawn shop, and I'd end up breaking it after the show, and then the next day was consumed with trying to find a pawn shop and the few dollars that we had to buy a guitar, and then we'd have to turn the strings around and try to intonate it ourselves, and it just made for a really out of tune, raunchy experience, you know, during those first few years.
It was a pain in the ass trying to find a guitar.
Yeah, it was like the biggest dilemma of the day.
This one will work left-handed. Yeah, it's cut. This part's notched a little bit, you know.
It was a big hassle on those days.
The electronics are on the top.
In fact, we even built a bunch of Mustangs one time. We bought some necks and took pieces of wood and cut out the bodies and put the necks on, and they were completely out of tune all the time. And we did a pretty good job at it.
We had this little assembly line in the garage where we hung them up and painted them and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed you used some quite unique looking guitars on stage anyway. Were those the ones you built yourself?
I don't think so. Those were all destroyed in one tour. That was about like 4 years ago, probably, at least. But the ones I use now are just, I use this same Jaguar a lot, and mostly Mustangs. And I'm having Fender build me a special guitar that's like a mixture of a Mustang and a Jaguar, which might be kind of interesting.
Did you give them the directions what you wanted?
Yeah. Yeah, I took a picture of a Jaguar with a Polaroid and a picture of a Mustang, and then cut them down the middle and glued them together and said, build this.
In addition to the Fender Mustang, Cobain was frequently drawn to another Fender offset, the Jaguar. His love for both the Jaguar and the Mustang eventually led Cobain to collaborate with the Fender custom shop on the creation of the hybrid Jag Stang in 1993, a model that remains in production to this day. Bidding took place at the Times Square Hard Rock Cafe May 20th through 22nd. Despite an estimated $600,000 value, the Associated Press reported that Irsay intended to place an opening bid of $2 million on the guitar. He ended up spending $5 million to purchase the guitar for a good cause. And this is not the only Kurt Cobain piece being sold in auction for a hefty price. Last year, Kurt Cobain's hair sold for over $14,000 at auction. A bizarre and somewhat gross auction just took place where 6 strands of Kurt Cobain's hair sold for a whopping $14,145. The rock and roll auction also featured non-biological memorabilia from Black Sabbath, Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, and more. Per an overview, the Kurt Cobain hair is entirely fresh to market and accompanied by an impeccable lineage of provenance, including images of Kurt posing with a woman who cut this hair, scissors in hand, and a fantastic shot of the hair actually being cut. The lucky friend who trimmed the Nirvana frontman's iconic blonde locks was an early confidant, Tessa Osborne, who cut his hair in 1989. Well, prior to his Nevermind breakthrough whilst on the Bleach tour. The hair was apparently cut from Cobain's head in Birmingham, England. Tessa Osborne apparently kept Cobain's hair in a bag for years before giving the hair to Seattle artist Nicole DiPolo after Cobain's death. DiPolo eventually gave the hair to John Resnikoff, who holds a Guinness World Record for longest collection of historic hair. Cobain's hair was preserved under plastic and sold by Iconic Auctions. The longest of the 6 strands measures roughly 2.5 inches. So if it happens that you've been to a Nirvana concert in the past and managed to acquire some remembrance or items from them like old tickets, maybe you can sell it for a fortune. LOL. Anyway, if you'd like this kind of video, please share it with your friends. Maybe they will appreciate it. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified to all of our future uploads. Remember, Idea Haven. Light your tomorrow with today.